we are going to organize the new onboarding session. I have little doubt to organize it because last one was last month. We have many people, so I think it was okay. But in fact, we're going to have many participants, I think, for the moment. So I will share the list to the speakers, to the different speakers, to have a view on who is going to connect. And so it's a good news. I am proposing a networking event and discussion and photo just after the telco day at the KubeCon for who will attend. So for the moment, I know that Tom from Vodafone he will be here, Vic Gojnik from DT, from Orange, we will be lots of participants. So Thomas, Matthew, Eric. So yeah, there are many participants from Orange, from Suzy, at least team, from Nokia, Gergely. So is there any other company?
This is Carlo. I hope that Raffaele Trani will be able to join.
Okay, thanks. Other participants?
Dale also.
Yeah, Dale.
I don't know if it's at least one in my team, so probably Jamie.
Okay.
Yes, and Joe Huang from Huawei will also join the meeting. Yeah.
Okay, great. I think we're going also to have WeWorks. Yeah, so I'm going to fill this, but I think it will be a good opportunity to have a direct conversation between the members. So it will be during lunchtime, and just after there's a proposal from Taylor Carpenter from the CNCF telco community. So he wants to share about Sylva, but not limited to Sylva, and how we can contribute or collaborate together with the CNCF telco community. So he shared us 2 links about this. So you'll have these links in the minutes of these meetings. So you can there's a forms, a Google Forms, where you can describe the topic you want that can be handled, for example. Okay. Hello, Richard. Okay, so that's for those general news. And the last one is an update on the corporate contributor license agreement. And here, maybe if we are ready on Theophil's side, we can share you a screenshot where we are today. I don't know if you have this under your hand, Theophil.
Yes. So let me share my screen.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Is it okay? So this is the project control center on the Linux Foundation LFX tool. So if you don't have access to this project control center, you just have to send a ticket to the Linux Foundation to have this access. Sorry. Under the Linux Foundation Europe projects, you will find the Sylva one, and in the Sylva project, you will be able to see in the LFX tool the easy CLA part. So on the left of my screen, and you will be able to sign this CLA in this interface. So for now, if we look at the signatures of the corporate contributor license agreement, we have 4 companies that have signed this corporate license agreement. So we have SUSE, Telefonica, Orange, and Huawei. So I hope all of you can manage to sign the corporate CLA to be able to contribute to the project. In a few weeks, we will start binding the commit to the signature of the corporate contributor license agreement, meaning that you won't be able to commit in the Sylva project if you have not signed this CLA. So please please sign it for the companies that want to contribute. And the process is will be reminded at the end of the minutes of this TSC meeting. So it's very easy. You just have to access this project control center and sign it online. It's a DocuSign. It's a DocuSign process. So very easy to perform. So that's all for the CLA part. If you have any question, do not hesitate to reach me.
It's clear for all. Thank you, Théophile, and it's a good progress because during last TSC I thought there was just one. So major progress on this part. Thanks. Okay, so now coming back to our agenda. Is there any other general news you want to share before going deeper in the work group 1? Other topic? I've now made updates on the Sylva and Nefio interlock, but we are still on the topic with Matthew, so we will give you some updates in future TSC. Okay, I will let the floor to Matthew on the work group 1 concerning the cloud stack development.
Thank you, Guillaume. Hi, everyone. So we keep working on the first release of Sylva, the v0.1. We are mainly focusing on a few missing features that are under review, that are about to get merged. Just a few comments, so no blocking point about those features. And we are especially working on stabilizing what we deploy in order to have something that is stable in-house for anyone to test in its own environment deploying Sylva. Good news from Telecom Italia. They are working on first refactoring of the element to deploy the CAPV elements, components needed to deploy Sylva on a vSphere environment. And they are also setting up a dedicated CI in order to run some tests for all the commits on the Sylva core, on the Sylva project, to assess that the stack is still working in a vSphere environment. I don't know, maybe Alessandro, you want to give some words about it? Or?
Alessandro is not connected, but I think that you explained. We are completing this work that should be ready in a few days.
Yes, we would like to be able to say that vSphere deployment is available in v0.1. So it's a nice step for having this in the v0.1. We keep having some meetings every week. I'm showing a link to the agenda of last meeting. So you have a link for, and don't hesitate to attend this meeting if you want to participate to the development of the Sylva stack, or at least to the development of the to the working group number 1. I wanted to also share about the process that we have set up for taking into account any contribution coming from all the Sylva partners or anyone interested in Sylva. We want to adopt the RFE process, meaning that any new features that is impacting the stack should be validated through this RFE process. So it is just about saying what use case, what feature you want to push into Sylva, and push a dedicated description through a document into Sylva, push this under review, and let everyone comment about your proposal, so that we all agree on the feature that is going to get introduced into Sylva, and we also agree on a targeted release for it to be worked on. So this is the way other open source projects are working. This is really convenient, and it is adapted to anyone who is not a code specialist, I would say. It's really open to non-technical contributors. Any question regarding this RFE process? So I pushed an example. For instance, we will surely adopt an admission controller in the next release of Sylva. And I pushed a document thanks to Pierrick, who created this document, but I pushed it explaining why we need such a component in Sylva, and what are the implementation proposed. We are probably going to adopt Kyverno, but it is open to discussion, and this is the way to discuss about it, just by commenting this review, this document. Sorry. Is it clear for everyone? Is there any question?
Is there a specific date announced for the first release of Sylva?
We want to tag the v0.1 Sylva release at the end of the month. This is the target.
Okay,
and
thanks.
it should be fine. And we think about releasing the second version of Sylva at the end of June, and probably having four release of Sylva per year.
Okay, thank you.
Joni here from Nokia. So is there already some description of these features that are targeting for this first release? I'm just thinking these additional feature requests, proposals. So yes, maybe we have some ideas what should be available, but would be good also to understand what is already planned to be available. So is that somehow visible?
You mean a long-term roadmap?
Yeah, maybe what is available in the first and then the roadmap.
Okay. We are surely releasing. We are going to release a document describing what is available in the v0.1, because we didn't adopt the RFE process for this v0.1. It will be adopted for the v0.2. So we will be able to rely on this RFE process to communicate about what will be available in the v0.2. But yes, we will document what is available in the v0.1 once we will release it. This will be part of the documentation of the v0.1.
Yeah, and Joni, definitely we need to share to the TSC and to integrate some feedback on a high level view for yearly roadmap. Also, it it is very important for the project, I think, to have a common share, even if some topics are just ideas, but it's important to, as soon as possible, to build this common view. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Did you covering your topic? So short term with high level of detail, and then try to build a high level view.
Yeah, that would be good. Because, for example, in work group 4, we discussed a couple of weeks ago that for energy efficiency, we need to have some basic capabilities available from the platform, and basic capabilities for metrics, statistics, and then of course those are needed for any other purposes as well, not only for the energy efficiency, but we were not sure that we had understanding that what is expected to be available from the platform, for example, for different metrics, logs, and even alarms. So that kind of topics.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny, for addressing that one. So, I mean, one topic is that maybe, Matthew, if you have any view right now in whichever form and shape, that would really help, because it's important for work group 4 to identify the respective, domain streams. And then, of course, we discussed a lot in the last couple of weeks on the tools as well as architecture, etc. But it's important that we start understanding the elements that go into the infrastructure stack, and also the software plus rest of the orchestration related features. So I think we will have to kind of bring these two topics along with the tools to build up the framework for work group 4.
Okay, but it goes the other way also, because we can take into account requirements coming from the work group 4. If you need a specific component to be part of the Sylva stack, then we can work on adopting this component.
Yeah, it's in both sides. In the other way, what has been thought about monitoring logging in work group 1, so to see if it's compatible with the vision we can have on the energy efficiency. So I think it's in both sides. So it's a very good topic to address in that kind of TSC, because it's the way a work group needs information to another. So I think we can, on next TSC, coming back on this topic. Of course, we can exchange in between, but definitely it's a topic we can cover. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Other topics, Matthew, you want to share?
No, that's okay for me.
Okay.
Just about this RFE process, we think about collecting the different RFE document during the month of April, and targeting what we are going to work on for the V0.2 based on those documents, and what is mature in-house for being worked on for the V0.2. We think about defining what is going to be worked on for the V0.2 at the end of April. So we would have 1 month to discuss based on those documents what we are going to work on for the next version.
So if we are coming back on this requirement for work group 4, maybe it will be a good tool, this RFE, this request for evolution, to capture this need. Is it your point, Matthew, also? Just to clarify.
We will definitely have some topics about data management, defined as RFE, described as in a specific RFE document. We know that Suzy proposed already to start working on the adoption of OPNI. This is one option. We are thinking about alternatives also. But the stack is flexible enough to not focus on a single tool. We can adapt it be able to deploy a different tool. But we will surely work on the data management for the V0.2. So I think this is what you were thinking about, and this is a requirement for the working group number 4, the main one for the moment.
Yeah, so I don't know if Sundara or Carlo, if someone wants to initialize that kind of RFE, so we can track this important requirement. Okay.
Okay, I think that it would be useful starting from the current status of what is available in the stack from VG4. We can propose some feature that could be useful to implement some use case on energy efficiency also.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Other question on the work group 1? No? Don't hesitate also at the end of this meeting if you are missing topics. Concerning validation center, Luis.
Okay. So from work group 2 validation center, there's not much progress to report really. Tomorrow we have the periodic meeting within the group, but basically we keep working on the validation of the Nokia UDM, the first CNF. We are now at the onboarding process. We are progressing with that. The configuration, the platform is configured, is ready, and and the images are ready, available to be deployed. And now we are working on the deployment of that. And then we will run the functional tests. And the second CNF, the 6-wind, the VSR from 6-wind, the functional test and the process for deployment is already defined, and we need to start, but we will start once we finish the other. So the idea is during this month of March, complete the Nokia UDM and start the 6-wind. So maybe for next meeting, we will have some more progress to report. There's nothing to share really right now, and there's no decisions to be taken at this point.
Okay. Is there on the bridge any new CNF that will apply soon to this process? No, it was an open question, Luis. not you have no news on your side, but on the on this conf, no. Okay. So I assume you'll have news soon.
Okay, we keep encouraging people to join and request to be validated.
We have many discussions.
Quick.
Yeah.
Just a quick question to Luis. Which underlying infrastructure are you using for this today for Nokia?
This the configuration is the OpenStack and Rancher RKE. So the underlying is the EAS is OpenStack, and the Kubernetes, let's say, is the Rancher RKE too.
The question was maybe also on the hardware, no?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's Dell, but I'm not sure right now.
It's Dell, okay.
Okay.
So do you have can you share the name from Nokia side who is working on this
who is the
stack?
The person you mean? No,
yes.
What do you mean? The person.
No, I will share with you an email, but just to check if, because there is some discussion with Nokia from our side. I mean, Equinix to deploy this stack on our bare metal. And as we discussed with Guillaume, we are checking the opportunity to have our bare metal, let's say, used for this validation.
But that's a good comment. This validation, something that we decided in the validation stream, means that, as you know, there are different configurations of Sylva. One is with bare metal is one, and in this case is with not bare metal, is with OpenStack. So when we validate, a network function may be validated with different configurations. So we probably need to pass it again over a bare metal environment. So that is a valid point. We may need to pass it again to have a second validation for this same network function on the other configuration of Sylva, because Sylva so far has 3 possible configurations.
No, exactly. And I see that the roadmap shared during the onboarding session, there will be a release, I think by end of this year, of bare metal automation. Probably it would be good to check if we can align with this release coming end of the year. Yeah.
Absolutely. These are the first cycles of validation. Actually, this is the first, and we are doing it with the first configuration that we have, which is the OpenStack. But we need to rerun it once this is successful and when we have additional configurations within the Sylva development. Yeah.
But it's a very good point, Ahmed. We are currently testing right now the Metal Cube integration. So definitely it's a good timing also to address some bare metal as a service offer to test that kind of integration.
Good. So we have some, let's say, we had some experience in deploying, let's say, stack with the, Winis from Orange side.
Yeah.
On the VPOP, but this we can, let's say, do the same for this new stack from Sylva to align with Sylva. Yeah.
Okay. So send me an email offline and we discuss that with the people from Nokia.
Okay.
Hello, one question. We just mentioned that the Nokia UDM will be deployed into the validation center. So will the validation center use a stable Sylva release?
Use what?
Stable release. Stable release of Sylva.
Well, it's not the 01 because this does not exist. It's the previous one. So actually, we don't have one initial or first release to start the validation. We are just running with the previous one. So it's still in development. It's the beta version. It's not even the 01 that will be released by the end of this month. But we are just setting up the validation. Once we have a first official release, validations will be official, of course. But right now it's not stable. It's the Sylva that we have in development, really.
We're testing the process as soon as we are testing it.
We are working in parallel. Once we complete one official release, then validations will become officials as well, based on the last official one. Right now there's no official, so we are using the beta version that exists.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there is one specific feature that we won't be able to address and that may be needed by the validation center, which is the possibility to deploy some virtual machines with several networking cards. I know that Guillermo wanted to have it in the first release of Sylva, but it won't be possible to have it before the end of the month. So we have to discuss if you can adapt or if you need to work around.
Yeah. And SRIOV right now is not integrated directly in the Sylva release, and we are doing it manually. So we will have to do it with the real release once it's ready.
But I thought that SRIOV was not needed for the UDM?
No.
Is it?
For UDM, it's not. For VSR, we will need it. But we can start with no SRIOV, but we will need it to have a complete validation.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other points addressed to Luis? No? Okay. So
one more question. One more question. Yeah. Sylva just one issue that to provide the multiple networking plan to support. So I'm not sure whether in the validation center, Sylva release will support multiple networking plan or not.
Okay, in validation center, we validate right now the network functions, so the applications that run on top. So the first question that we do we ask to any network function that wants to be validated is what are the requirements that they need. If they have a requirement of multiple networking, then we will have to check if this is supported by the existing version. So right now, the one that we are validating, which is UDM, does not need anything special. It needs Multus, and we have configured Multus, but manually.
Okay.
But Joe Wang, this is really how we want to work. So for each new CNF and validation center, we'll extend the scope of the features of work group 1. So this is why we can address RFE through the process, the request for evolution, through the process presented just before. So we can integrate that kind of requirements. And justifying, for example, if we want to add a new CNF testing on top of Sylva.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other topics? No? Okay, many thanks, Luis. And all the validation team, of course. For the security requirements, Théophile.
Yes, so on the security requirements, we are currently working. So we finished to write some features and requirements for all the, let's say, the anti-malware part of the EUCS certification scheme. So now it's behind us, and we are currently working on all the backup and monitoring requirements. So how can we manage backups in the Sylva stack? We have a lot of, as we are using GitOps methodology, a lot of things are natively backed up in the Git repository, but we have to think about how to back up persistent volume data. So this is the topic right now within the security requirement workstream. And I also wanted to share with you, we had the opportunity to have access to a draft document of the Gaia X labels requirements. So as you may know, Gaia X is an initiative around data in Europe to be able to share data in a compliant way with the regulation. And Gaia X is defining 3 levels of security certification, but not only security, there are other part in the certification, but there are 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3, and we are checking whether the Sylva stack can be compliant also with this Gaia X certification scheme, because we were checking the EUCS certification scheme, which is the target for the European Union. And now we think that there can be a quick win to also validate the Gaia X level 3 requirements, because there are a lot of complementarity between those 2 labels. So this is what we are looking at this week under the workgroup on security requirements. Because it could be nice for Sylva to be compliant with PUCS, but also with the Gaia X, so that all companies wanting to implement some data space within the Gaia X framework, those companies could be able to use Sylva, and it could be good for. It could be a really good opportunity for Sylva.
to address the edge market, not only the telco market, which is one of the mission statement of Sylva. Okay. Thanks, Théophile. Any question to Théophile? I've got one. It's not a question. It's more an additional comment. So we're going to publish and to propose. I want to propose to all of you a very lightweight process. If there are some security breach that has been identified in the stack, we prefer to not publish it publicly to all, but to have a restrictive process with just a mailbox. So just want maybe to ask for decision in this work group 3 if the members are okay to this process. So if someone is identifying a security breach, to address a mail, I think I don't know if we be a generic mailbox, maybe a security breach, I don't know, at orange.com, I don't know where, but to have a private process to manage the security breach. I don't know, Théophile, before asking the opinion to the other members, if you want to add something on this.
Yes, it's a very important matter. The way. So how can the Sylva open source project manage some vulnerabilities inside the project? And so it's important to have a process to deal with those vulnerabilities. And yes, so this kind of process through a specific email address be a good solution. So I can put this topic to the agenda of the next security meeting.
Yeah. And so for next TSC, we can have a decision if members are okay on that kind of process. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. For energy efficiency.
Okay. Okay. If I can just share my screen, please.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna give you the.
Yeah. So Théophile. And if you can send me your slide after, so I can integrate your text in the minutes.
Yeah, sure. That'll be really helpful. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have almost 80% alignment, I would say. Still, there would be some minor as well as next level of details that we'll agree, but then broadly 4 areas as far as objectives are concerned for the work group. Essentially the first one is to kind of align with the overall stack as far as the domains as well as elements are concerned, and specifically focus on the CNFs across the board as well as platforms for respective energy parameters, and then mechanisms to measure and management. One is the baselining, the other one is savings. So we also understand that there will be some of the features are inherent in the product itself or in the domain itself, and then there will be some are triggered through an orchestration. And hence we also have spoke about the overall use cases. So that touches upon or triggers from an orchestration layer, and then that goes across all the products and the elements that are there in the stack, and then the metrics associated with that one. This also includes some use cases like the overall network architecture itself. That includes various benchmarking done for the coding programming languages as well. I'm sure that some will be more exhaustive, and some of the others will be initial stages, but then we will try to create some of those, and then that's what I just added in the further topics for discussion. One is to look at the CO2 footprint as well as on the emission control, because both are closely related topics. And then that covers the architecture design aspects, for example, on the number of servers, then longer life cycle, etc., for the servers as well as the hardware. Then then the framework standards and then compliance for energy efficiency as well as on CO2 emission that would be applicable for this case as well as in general what all the other frameworks that are exist. We also spoke about the scope 1, 2, 3 kind of responsibilities from the stack perspective, but I think that we will go to as a next step or we'll see whether that is required or not. Then the other elements, workloads on top of Sylva Kubernetes clusters. So that includes all the RAN part, the VC, VDU, and then the RU. So we also understand the majority of the energy consumption will come from the RU rather than the platforms. So that is also, we'll just try to triangulate, what the percentage of contribution from rest of the elements and then domains. And of course is the tool part for the measurements as well as for rest of the telemetry information from bare metal as well as some of the nodes. I think that's pretty much is what we discussed. So we can translate this one to the first as an objective, and then we have a few other discussions from respective experts happening in the next session that we have. And then we'll come back with more information during the next review. Any questions? Okay. So if there are no questions, then I'll just stop sharing. I'll share this one with Guillermo. You can just upload it on the GitLab. And also, I'm not an expert on the GitLab, so I still have some struggle. And then probably I'll request some of the work group members to have access to the GitLab so they are able to, create and share more information.
Okay, so I have this in my inbox, Sundara. I will manage it.
Sure. Thank you. And then I promise I will learn more on GitLab.
We will help you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Andre, concerning adoption and communication, key topic also.
Hello. So this one we have not that much news. We had some setbacks last week. I was sick and then we couldn't progress that much, but now we are back on track. And in terms of what happened since the last meeting, we are continuing to prepare the documentation in terms of presentation. We've been sharing across to some stakeholders. We are also preparing the GitLab interview. So it's going to be a script, 15 minutes, and we are preparing on the communication team then to share across that the TSC leaders approve it. And also it's going to have a promotion regarding KubeCom. We were aligning with Susan that will promote the panel of KubeCom in the social media. So on Twitter, LinkedIn, and it might have other social media. It's Twitter and LinkedIn. We are going to align on the message that is going to be shared. The last point that I wanted to refer is regarding also the onboarding that is going to be performed for a new list of companies. And that's it. I think I have everything covered. Yeah. I'm going to bother you again, some of you, to review the slides to the deck, because we wanted to close this no more than in 2 weeks to have the deck closed of what we are doing. So we are going to bother you more to do this revision, each one of you, since also we have more time, because it's important also not only about the slides to make the slides, but to make sure that everyone is having the same understanding, and this working group also has this goal to maintain the mission of the project. Any doubts? Any concerns?
On my side, just a remark, but on the next onboarding meeting, we will use the last version of your slides. So many thanks.
Okay. It's missing. I didn't have the time, and since Luis is here, to include Luis' feedback from the slides. I will do it this week. The feedback from Luis, and I will share with you, Guillaume, this version.
Yeah.
And I'm
Great.
sorry, Luis, I didn't have the time to include your feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any question to Andre? No? Okay. Phil, do you have anything else to share on the governance or evolution? Since that's this week.
No specific progress this week. So just again on the CLA. So as Mathieu shared, the contributing.md file was updated, and there are all information regarding the signature of the CLA, so how to do it, how to process. So all of those informations are in the contributing file. So you will find this contributing file in the Sylva repository inside the Sylva project. So, and I can put the link in the chat. It's easier.
Okay. Any questions? Open questions?
Yeah, one question. This issue from Windover regarding the CLA part. Did we had any mail communication or something to refer to, the signing part and all, or should we go to Wiki? I was trying to find in the GitLab, or if you can provide me the direct link, it will be great, please.
So for the CLA, everything is online. So you don't need to send an email or to. You just need to have an account on the project control center of the Linux Foundation.
Okay.
So once you have an account on this platform, you can go through all the projects of the Linux Foundation, and under the Linux Foundation Europe, you will be able to see the project Sylva, and you click on Sylva, and you click on sign the CLA, and there will be like a DocuSign page where you can sign it online.
You're talking about this one, EasyCLA. You're talking about EasyCLA and the Linux Foundation, right? I sent the link.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I just want sure it's the same, or because Europe Foundation, I want to just make sure. Is it different?
Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah.
The same.
But to coming back on this topics issue, it's an important one.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you need yes, if you need help on the signing process, I will be happy to help. No problem. Sure. You can contact me.
Thank you.
Just some comment. Usually, in a company, the lawyer will be responsible for the signing process, but the lawyer is not familiar with Linux Foundation ID or how to log on to Linux Foundation website. So it's need the authorization from the lawyer to some manager, which is responsible for the development. So I think maybe for most company, the authorization inside his company is needed.
Yes, you're right. So as a project manager or as technical people involved in the project, you can have an account on the project control center of the Linux Foundation, and there is a way to send the signature process to your lawyers so they can sign it without entering all the details of the EasyCLA tools and so on. So you have to check with them before, and then create an account on the project control center, go to the signing process, put the email of your lawyer in the tool, and then it will the signature will be the signature process will be sent to the lawyer.
Yeah, basically, for those people who are already part of the Linux Foundation, it is just that we have to clarify with Nephew alone. I mean, sorry, with Sylva alone. And those of you who are new has to start the process from scratch, right? These are the only two differences I want to highlight. Because some of them could be new to Linux Foundation itself. For them, the process starts from beginning. For those of you who are already part of Linux Foundation, it's just that we have to validate ourselves for Sylva project contributions and make sure our company is registered for that. So that all people who have the same mail ID will be registered automatically. It's just one-time process, and everyone with the same mail ID will be registered. Right? That's how the process works. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So a last question on the bridge? No? So thanks all for the level of interaction today. I think it's important to have a cross work group discussion also. This is really the place, this TSC. And we will have some news on the next TSC about the version 0.1 and how it's progressing the scope of the version 0.2 and following the comment of Uni, how we can give more visibility on the overall roadmap. Okay, thanks all, and have a nice end of the day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.